Hello, my loves. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Juliana Helmicke coming to you. On my personal Facebook page. I don't have another page. I don't have to say that, actually. Perhaps in the future I will. So we are at day 62 of the now 90-day challenge. God wants to talk to you challenge. And we read and we contemplate and then we read again. Dear God, what would you have me know today? My sweetheart, the games and adventures of your mind are mere distractions. Anything of real substance involves your heart. True contemplation merges your heart's intelligence with your wisdom. Your mind is the medium, the instrument, and also the channel for me to come in and talk to you. Your mind is brilliant, and I have gifted it to you for a reason. But do not think for 1 second that it is your most powerful feature. Your most powerful feature, most important feature, is your heart. And it takes a great translator to bring your heart's light to the world. That translator is your mind. But your mind exists in service to your heart. Build yourself as love and keep speaking about how the world looks as you look at it through the eyes of love. This is your one and only job. Worry about nothing. Focus on loving what is so that I can touch the world through your heart. Love, God. So, I've actually have a teeny tiny story to tell about this, because this whole like your mind is just keeping you busy. Just lower this a little bit. Oh, it's here. Okay. Your mind is keeping you busy. And yes, it's, fun entertainment, but it leads to not so much. And it's actually not of true substance, which what's the word? Offended me when I first, was told that my real power is in my heart. My mind was so offended because I still, but still I identify as an intelligent person. And growing up, I received a lot of value and what's the word? It's not a good day for English today for me and my brain. Recognition for being intelligent, she said, as she was searching for words desperately. So I was always identifying as an intelligent person. And so then to be told, your mind is actually not what you're supposed to focus on, was kind of harsh. And of course, that was the case, my mind being offended, because my mind could simply not grasp the reality, the universe that lives in my heart. And all those years ago, when someone first told me, yes, you have a sharp mind, but it is actually your job to lessen the focus on your intelligence and lessen your sharp like sight in order to soften and land in your heart. So all those years ago, I heard it and I heard the truth in it, but I couldn't. It didn't land. I couldn't take it, really. And fast forward a couple of years, I was sitting in Peru in a ayahuasca ceremony, and it was actually the first of the 4 ceremonies that we went through, and the first thing that the plan showed me, was I there were many things happening, but that one particular piece, that I wanna speak to now is that I was shown, it looked like a huge endless screen, and on that huge endless screen, which I was just floating in front of that and just looking at the screen, there were countless little images, and all those images were memories stored in my mind. And I could just they were tiny. The screen was huge. It spanned across like wherever I would look, and the pictures were tiny, but I could look at one picture, I could focus on one picture and zoom in and see it fully. And what that did was just like showing me like a an infinite number of memories that my mind was still holding on to, storing. And so in these pictures, I would see all kinds of random stuff, which I guess ultimately what we're talking about now, it is random, but my mind was holding on to those memories. And so, for example, a picture of Julia Roberts. And as I zoomed in that moment, I knew exactly that this was a picture of Julia Roberts in a certain magazine that I had looked at years ago as a teenager. And in that moment, I realized, like, oh my God, I am like my mind still holds this memory. Like, for what reason? And then, of course, there were other pictures. There were memories of me and my dad. There were like just like everything you can imagine, like everything my mind had experienced, stored, and holding on to it. And the holding on to it is not in my, I don't think it's in my conscious power. There has to something has to happen subconsciously for me to um, allow my mind to let go of it. But that is subconscious. But what it showed me was, do you see all the stories that your mind has, that your mind has made, that your mind has experienced, is memorizing, still, remembering? Do you see the countless amount, the countless amount, I don't know if that's a thing, but how many of those stories are there? And they all are somewhat deemed important, which that is why the mind holds on to them. But do you now see in hindsight that they were not really alive? Those stories are of no actual substance. There is no life in it. There's no wisdom in it. There's no richness in it. Those are just stories of the mind. And I came out of this ceremony in regards to this particular image that was shown to me by the plant, realizing that whatever my mind fabricates and busies itself with and is entertaining me with, because my mind is just like a whole like a little entertainer that's just doing stuff for me so that I am nice and busy, right? um that none of this is actually bringing me forward in life. And I am now, we have to make an important distinction here, because it also says in the letter, and I agree, which, haha, I agree with God. Surprise. It says, true contemplation merges your heart's intelligence with your wisdom. That is not surface level story, entertainment, mind fuzz. It is your heart's intelligence with your wisdom. And that is what true contemplation is. And so, in this ayahuasca ceremony, what was shown to me was how I busy myself with the stories of my mind, how I stay in my mind instead of dropping into my heart, pulling in wisdom, contemplating in a open way where I don't have to make sense of things and I don't have to, categorize them and like file them away so that they then at some point in the next ceremony appear on that screen. I was so focused on my mind, so immersed in what I think about stuff, the opinions that I have about stuff, that I blocked myself from looking at the world with my heart's intelligence, with my heart's wisdom. And that is such a huge difference. And in that, like the most important piece that dropped in that ceremony, which then afterwards it was a whole process of releasing my mind and like allowing my mind to not hold on to everything that happens in my life so strongly anymore, and like lean more into my heart. That's a whole process. But in that ceremony, what came out of that ceremony was that the stories of my mind are empty. They're not full of life. They're not alive. They're empty stories that my mind spins and spins and spins and keeps me busy with. And that just showed me how we can live a life completely missing the point of being alive as we stay in our mind and not move beyond that. And it's fine, to experience something and have a mind impression first, and also ask the mind like, okay, so what do you think about that? That's fine. But to only keep it up here and only circle around it, spin it around, hold on to it so that we can then not comfortably, that's not a thing. Why isn't it? Um, Comfortably. Ah, there it is. Intelligent mind. So that we then can file it away comfortably. So that the mind is kind of like, all right, I know what it is. Now I can rest. I can be at peace because I know what it is. I can file it away. End of the story. But to allow the mind to stay open, function as a channel, as a holding of contemplation, and then allow the heart's wisdom to emerge and infuse my experience with real, true life. Let it touch me in truth. That is very different to how I lived my life before. Being focused only on the mind is very different. So, our mind exists in service to our heart. All right. We read again to close. Dear God, what would you have me know today? My sweetheart, the games and adventures of your mind are mere distractions. Anything of real substance involves your heart. True contemplation merges your heart's intelligence with your wisdom. Your mind is the medium, the instrument, and also the channel for me to come in and talk to you. Your mind is brilliant, and I have gifted it to you for a reason. But do not think for 1 second that it is your most powerful feature. Your most powerful feature, most important feature, is your heart. And it takes a great translator to bring your heart's light to the world. That translator is your mind. Your mind exists in service to your heart. Build yourself as love and keep speaking about how the world looks as you look at it through the eyes of love. This is your one and only job. Worry about nothing. Focus on loving what is so that I can touch the world through your heart. Love, God. All right, my loves. See you soon.